Good morning, everybody. Noodle Thumb here. Today I've got for you this Dom RS8. This is a pin tumbler lock. It's got 5 pins in the main stack, 3 side pins, and as you can see, it's partially grubbed. I don't have a key for this lock, so you'll be spared the opening with the key, but I will gut it and show you all the pins and how they're oriented and what makes this a difficult lock. It's a red belt lock. One of the harder locks that I've opened. I think it has been, for me at least, every bit as hard as the black belt locks I've opened, which are the Goal Z, the Miwa U9, and the Asa 700 with gins. Christmas trees, actually. Part of what makes this hard is that the side pins and the top pins, or the main stacks, don't isolate, meaning you don't pick all of the main pins and then all of the side pins. You do some of the main ones part way, and then the side pins, and then the main stacks the rest of the way. And so partway through picking, you get to a point where you're just kind of not getting the feedback you would expect if you were making progress, and that means it's time for the sidebar. I may be at that point now, and I'm hoping I didn't overset anything. That's the other challenge here, is when you're not feeling much, it's easy to overset, and then you have to start over, or you have to recover from your overset. So you'll see I just flipped my pick from the main stack. I'm actually doing with a twisting motion, and then the side pins we do that way. Usually when I set the pin 1 on the sidebar, if it's time, I feel a distinct little bit of core movement. I didn't feel that. I'm not really feeling much from the main stacks either, which tells me I might have overset. I just felt something drop. Let me check for overset. So there's key pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I haven't overset any of the main stacks, because all the key pins have dropped down. I just felt a little bit of movement from pin 1. Pin 1s, 2, and 5 are barrels. Pins 3 and 4, the drivers are barbell drivers, which I'll show you when I get. I thought maybe I was ready for the sidebar, but I don't think so. 1 needs a nudge. There we go. 2, I think, is set. 3 might need a nudge, but I'm not confident enough to push it yet. Same with 4. Oh, there we go. 5 needed a nudge. that was a good bit of core movement, so I think we're now actually ready for the sidebar, or the side pins. Maybe they're already set. Okay, let's go back through. So both the barrels and the barbells need a little bit of a nudge. There we go, there's the open. They need a little bit of a nudge after the main part, and I'll show you that as I gut. Let's see, hold on, I'm going to zoom out and get this set up for gutting. Yeah. Okay. Take this out and put it there. Move that up, and then I'm actually going to scoot this over that way. And just bring my camera. Okay, now back on there. So I've got a pretty tight frame in which to work here. I don't know if I like it all that much. Let me turn this. My tripod feet are in the way a little bit. There we go. That'll be much better. Come on. Okay. Alright, so when I was progressive pinning, I used this little piece of tie wire for core retention, but when I was picking for the video, I figured maybe it would be good form to use the factory core retention. See if I can pull this off without mangling it too terribly bad. Usually I can't. There we go. Alright, that wasn't bad. I'm being careful not to reset the lock because, again, I don't have a key, so I need to shim it before I turn it back to neutral. I think, well, I haven't decided what I'm going to do first. I think what I might do, I don't know if that shim is all the way. I don't think it is. There's an easy way to check. Just dropped my shoe. Okay. Yeah, it is to the front of the lock. Okay. So, not sure whether I should I'm going to leave the shim in. I'm going to grub the main stacks. Okay. Okay, so here's pin 1. I'm just going to leave the grub screws to the side. That's my kids in the background. It is a Saturday morning, so family time. So there's that first barrel. Key pins, of course, are not going to come out with these because of the shim. I'll show all of those at once when I take out the core. I think I might move my light a little bit after this. Okay, driver 2. Barrel. And there's a master wafer. So I did pick that master wafer above shear. I'll move my light, get a little bit, maybe less shadowing here. There we go. Okay. Pin 3. Spring. Come on, driver. There we go. So there's that barbell. Spring 4. And driver 4 is also a barbell. Hello, little lady. She's having hot chocolate because it snowed last night. And snow, of course, means hot chocolate. It's very important. Okay, pin 5. Come on. Doesn't want to fall. Heard it go back down in there. Try again. Okay. What do I do with a driver that doesn't want to come out? Here's what I do. I put in a grub screw. Just a little. Give it a whack. Or a few. there we have it. All right. So that's that last barrel. I'll see if I can get this core out without any mishaps. Without leaving frame. Without dropping pins out of the core. Which means I should turn it this way. Alright. Okay, I'm going to set the core there. And get these drivers out for the side pins. Where am I going to put them? I need to make another pinning tray with a little more space on it, but I like this one. I've been using it since white belt, and I've grown overly attached. So here we go. I'm going to elaborate my setup. Where is my marker? Don't have my proper marker. Well, it's my marker. There we go. Now I'm going to label 1, 2, 3. Eventually I'll have all kinds of things on this pinning tray, which was never meant to be a permanent thing. It was just till I got a good pinning tray, and then now I've got a couple good pinning trays, and I like this one. So, hold on, I need to... I'm going to see if this makes a difference. Turn on the flash on the video camera and see if I can see down here any better on the video. Okay, so here's side pin 1. And these don't poke out very far. But you can see the orientation with that taper toward the plug. They of course won't work otherwise. See if I can drag that out of its cavity there. They are really long. Or no, these ones aren't terribly long. The ones in the plug are. Okay. So there's 1. There's 2. And 3. Come on. There we go. And roll this over to get the springs out. There we go. Alright, not much to see on the body of the lock. You can see where I grubbed. You can see the plugs for the side pins. As I said, there's no sidebar. The pins are just in holes that are offset from the main stack. So there is that. Okay, time for key pins. What I would like to do, actually, I'm going to try. Well, so first I'm going to dump the master wafer out of one. If I can do this at all gracefully, let's see. There we go. What I'd like to do is grab each of these out of the core. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. So instead, I'm going to rotate myself around and dump them sideways onto the pinning tray. Actually, I think I might do the side pins first. Yeah. As I said, the side pins are super long. And they've got this fin shape on them. Pretty cool. No. There we go. So put them alongside. Okay, side pin 2. This one is a funky one. I'll show you what funkifies it when I do the close-up. And side pin 3. Nope. Sometimes hard to grab these because they have that weird, they've got the fin, but then also their top is made so that they, have the same curvature as the core, of course. So it's hard to grab them out of here. Probably not hard for a more competent person than me, but for this guy, they're kind of hard. And I don't want to tip my core too far over and dump out all my key pins. As much of a nudge as I dare. Just can't get it out. Maybe I've got a point here. Maybe that push it farther out. There we go. That might work. No, I think I'm just not good at this. There we go. This is as hard as the pick. Jeez. Alright. So pin 3. Okay, now I can dump these. Okay, keep pin 1. Keep pin 2. Come on. Really? Why am I bad at this? It's like a comedy of errors, jeez. There we go. Keep pin 3. This is a torpedo. Come on. There we go. Keep pin 4. Another torpedo, and I'm going to get 5 into position 2. Okay, keep pin 4. And 5. Alright. Not much to show on the core here. This doesn't have any counter milling, over milling, nothing fancy. Except, I guess, the fancy thing about this is these teardrop shaped side pin chambers. They match that fin on the pins, and so the side pins don't rotate, can't rotate. These ones are freely spinning. They're radially, like, they're symmetrical. You can be radially symmetrical and not perfectly round, but they are round in profile, so it doesn't matter. These ones are held in place. I'll show you why that makes a difference. Let's see, I don't need to keep the core on frame anymore because I already showed that. So I'm going to pull this directly over my pinning tray and zoom in. Okay, so what makes this lock hard? I'm going to zoom in more. There we go. So what makes this lock hard is a couple things. You can see here are the barrels. It's got a thick portion and a thinner portion. And then these barbell spools, it's like a regular spool pin, but then it's got this thinner section at the bottom. And then, of course, this barrel too. On the sidebar, so what you have to do is get them all past these thicker sections and onto those thinner ones. In the meantime, though, the sidebar binds. This first side pin just has a tapered, it's in the lock like that, but I'm going to turn it sideways to show. So this is the front. It's got a tapered point. So you slide your pick, actually it would be this way. Slide your pick right under there and lift it up a little bit. I did it with the point toward, so you just slide it up. The second one, though, you can't do that because it's not tapered. So I had to put it under this first section and then just rotate a little bit. You can't put the pick entirely under there, though, because if you were looking when I removed it from the core, it's just about set, so it needs just a teeny tiny nudge, otherwise it would overset. And then this third one was like the first, where it's just tapered. Push under there. So after you do that, then I had to nudge pin 1 again, I think pin 2 again. These ones I was able to set entirely up. So they just needed a little touch. I don't think I needed to touch 5 after I set the sidebar. I'd have to rewatch and see. I've done this so many times that it's a little different each time. But that bouncing between the thick section here and then the sidebar or the side pins and then back to give a last little nudge without oversetting anything and dropping your pins is what makes this one a hard lock. Anyhow, that is the Dom RS8. Have a good day, everybody.